What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the Footless Fury podcast. Today I'm going to be answering more of the questions that you guys were asking me through Instagram. So let's get to it. The first question that I have here is, what was one of the best moments of your sport so far? And that would have to be my first ever gold medal in Lima, Peru for the Pan American Games. That was an absolutely incredible trip. I had some stuff going on mentally that I was kind of trying to fight through, but as soon as I got on the line, I was absolutely ready for it. There was nothing stopping me. And I will tell you guys, the match was really, really intense for me, but nothing compares to that final when I was fighting for that gold medal. There were so many nerves that I had. I was so excited and nervous, and it was a bit difficult for me to focus, but in the end I was able to hold it together long enough to be able to win gold. And now I'm going to answer a question that none of you guys really asked quite yet, but I want to answer it so that you guys don't have to. Last episode, when I was talking about AMC, I was talking about arthrogryposis multiplex congenita, which is the physical disorder that I have. And what that does is it causes your joints to fuse while you're in the womb, and also causes your muscles to not develop properly during that time frame that you are in the womb. So when I was born, my leg joints were stuck at about a 90-degree angle, and I couldn't straighten them at all. So I spent a majority of my first 4 or 5 years of being alive walking on my knees and scooting around, and it was constantly pointed out to me growing up. So when the opportunity came up that I would be able to have my legs amputated and possibly walk with prosthetics, I was very nervous because, you know, they were going to take my legs away, and it was very scary, but there was a possibility that I could walk like everybody else, and I had really hoped that I wouldn't be made fun of as much after it had happened. And I was only about 4 or 5 years old, so I cared a lot about what other people think. Nowadays, it's a little bit different because I am someone who really wants to teach people about my disability instead of get upset with them or get insulted by something that they say, because they really just don't know any different. So I hope that anyone who listens to this podcast is happy to ask any question that they want, and feel free to, because I will answer any of them, especially if it's related to my disability, because the more you know, the more respectful you can be to other people after having that knowledge. You know, one thing that I will absolutely like to bring up is that I, at least as a disabled person, would much rather you come up to me and ask me how I'm doing, ask me about my disability, and explain that you don't know much about it, and I'll tell you about it. I would happily tell you about my disability because it's part of my life, it's my story, and I'm happy to do that for anyone who wants to ask. Now, there are some people that, you know, have a hard time accepting their disability and maybe are struggling a little bit, and I would say when it comes to that, be very careful, because there are a lot of people that are hurting a lot because they are disabled, and sometimes they don't fully understand the good that can come from it. And one of the questions that I have on Instagram, another one of them, is what has changed you for the better as a person and an athlete? And I would have to say one of the biggest things that has made me a better person is learning more about myself and my disability and kind of accepting who I am as a person with a disability, and being able to be completely comfortable in explaining to people why I am disabled and what my disability is. And to answer the other part of this question, what has made me a better athlete, I would also very closely relate it to my disability as well, because I have arthrogryposis multiplex congenita, or AMC. I have been able to motivate a lot of teeny tiny AMCers to want to do more and try to do more. And that absolutely astounds me, because I was in the dumps for a while before I moved to Virginia, and I didn't feel like I was ever going to be able to do something productive in life. It was very difficult for me because, I was very overweight. I didn't have any legs, and I was quite a bit younger than I am today, so I didn't understand my disability and understand who I am at the time. And then when I moved to Virginia, I started doing my physical therapy and getting my prosthetics from Walter Reed Bethesda, and met many guys who are wounded warriors who have gotten injured during combat and were missing limbs, legs, arms, sometimes all 4 of them. And I really learned a lot about myself because I was able to kind of reflect and see all these guys that I personally look up to go from, being war heroes and soldiers to completely having to relearn how to walk. And that's really hard for someone to do. I learned that I'm lucky enough to have had my legs amputated when I was young enough that walking with prosthetics is the only way that I know how to walk. And that's very important for a lot of people to know, because there are some people that recently lose their ability to walk and have to completely relearn at 20 to much older years old. It's absolutely crazy to me, because I was lucky enough to have my legs amputated when I was 4. So I don't have to relearn how to walk. I only learned how to really walk once. And that was a huge motivator for me. And I really kind of started soul searching with myself a little bit during my time in Virginia because of that. And these guys taught me so much, and they helped me out emotionally so much, and even taught me a lot about how to walk with prosthetics, of things that I didn't know. And then I taught them a little bit of how to walk with prosthetics that they didn't know. I was actually able to help teach a guy how to go downstairs and upstairs in prosthetics, which for me was an incredible experience, because I was finally able to use my disability to help teach someone something. And that's kind of where I found my love for teaching about my disability and about other people with disabilities. Of course, I don't have disabilities that some other people have, but I try to share as much possible knowledge as I can with people so that they can have at least a little bit of a better understanding when it comes to times when, someone might want to ask a question, but doesn't know if they can because they might feel like they might offend them. So I know that was a bit of a longer and more drawn out answer than you might have been expecting, but the point of me telling that story was a lot of the kids that are younger with arthrogryposis right now, I feel like I'm at a place right now where I'm actually able to motivate them to want to do more. And that really makes me happy, because I didn't think I'd really ever be able to be someone to motivate people in that way. And it really makes me happy that I'm able to do that. And now, guys, I think it's time to end this episode. So, please, if you like the video, like and subscribe to my YouTube, of course. Follow me on Instagram, StetsonBardfield_2020. Make sure you guys go follow my podcast sponsor, Adaptive X Training. Those guys are absolutely incredible over there. Again, if you ever need a personal trainer, you gotta go check them out. And of course, last but not least, the Beard Struggle. I have an ambassadorship with them, as you guys know. Use my discount code. You can find it in my Instagram, or if you message me, if you can't find it, I'll send it to you. And you can get 15% off all future orders. And with it being the holiday season, they are some great gifts for your brother, your dad, or if you want some massage oil. The oils that they have for the beard also work great for that as well. And the oils are also for aftershave as well, if you need it for that, if you don't want to grow a beard. But thank you guys again for joining this podcast. I really hope you guys enjoyed. And like I said again, if you like the video, please like and subscribe. Hit the bell if you want to be notified every time I upload a new episode. And I'll see you guys in the next episode. Bye. Do you feel the